Good morning, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is PK. This is Bookeemonsters. And on the morning show, we look at the new releases this week, day by day, genre by genre. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, which means we're going to be looking at romances. Appreciate you stopping by or watching it later. And if you do like what you see, please hit the like button. Please share it or tell somebody about it so they can check it out too if they would be interested. Let us first, speaking of romances, I read one yesterday in one day. It wasn't that big. It was 250 pages, but I also really enjoyed it. It's called Emergency Contact by Lauren Lane and Anthony LaDunn. And this was published in October of this year. This is 284 pages. I think mine said, yeah, it was about 284. So this is about Catherine, who's an attorney, and she gets in an accident, and her emergency contact is her ex-husband, and she has a concussion and needs to be kept awake for at least 12 hours, and she has nobody else in her life who can help her. And she is very much a self-described Grinch. She's the grumpy and the grumpy sunshine kind of trope, and he's often referred to as Saint Tom, and he can't walk away from her in her time of need. Yet he's trying to get home to his family at Christmas by Christmas Eve because he was going to be proposing to his new girlfriend. And they try to get from New York to Chicago, planes, trains, and automobiles, and buses, and hitchhiking, and it was really a fun rom-com. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it if you're in the mood for something like that. Good morning, Mary. You look bundled up. Cold outside, maybe here this morning, but up to the 50s and sunny. We are also experiencing it's in the low 30s in the morning, but today we're supposed to get up like 66. So I'm wearing layers right now. The jacket will come off in the afternoon, but tomorrow it's supposed to be like in the 40s. So can't complain. It's November and we're hitting 60s. That's okay. From what it looks like, the extended forecast, we're supposed to be pretty nice up until actually Thanksgiving Day. And then winter comes back. Oh, of course. But it also makes it still feel more like Thanksgiving when it's colder out like that. All right. Well, let's look at some romance. Let's start with this one, the 12th. The Rules of Dating My One Night Stand by Penelope Ward and V. Keeland. Rule number one for having a one night stand: don't fall for the girl. After a lengthy dating slump, I finally met someone who sparked my interest. But first, the sparks flew when we argued. Later in the evening, those sparks ignited into something more. I was drawn to Devon in a way I hadn't felt in a very long time. Needless to say, I was disappointed when she abruptly left after our amazing night together. I couldn't stop thinking about her, but she hadn't even given me her number. In a city with 8 million people, I figured I'd never see Devon again. So imagine my surprise when I knocked on the door of an apartment in the building I lived in, and none other than my one night stand stood on the other side. If I thought Devon didn't want anything to do with me before, that was nothing compared to how she felt after finding out I was the landlord and she was about to be evicted. That makes things a little awkward, I would say. Great time, babe. Get out. Whoa. My screen went black there for a moment. Well, I hope you are staying bundled up too, Mary. 50s in Virginia. Plot Twist by Erin LaRosa, second in the Hollywood series, The Hollywood. Yeah, it looks like it might be spicy because they're talking about 5 chili pepper emojis. She's written off more than she can chew. Romance author Sophie Lyon's ironic secret just went viral. She's never been in love, and it's ruining her reputation. With a manuscript deadline looming, Sophie makes an ambitious plan to overcome her writer's block, reunite with her exes, including her last girlfriend, Carla, the one person she could have loved, to learn why she's never fallen in love, and document it for all her millions of new online followers. Luckily, Sophie's reclusive landlord, Dash Montrose, a former teen heartthrob, of course, has social media all figured out and is willing to help. What he doesn't mention is that he's an anonymous online crafter, a hobby that helps him maintain his sobriety. No one knows about his complicated relationship with alcohol, and with a family that's Hollywood royalty, Dash has to steer clear of scandal, etc. And added a little bit of depth there. But the cartoonish cover definitely makes it appear it's going to be a little more lighthearted. Is this one we're going to save for fantasies tomorrow. Clause and Effect by Piper Rain. Two strangers who couldn't be more opposite find themselves on an unexpected cross-country road trip days before Christmas where whatever can go wrong does. That's kind of almost the book that I read yesterday, except it was a second chance romance, but this must be a theme this year. He's an army ranger. She's a baker. He's organized and rigid. She's ridged. Look at that. She's messy and carefree. He doesn't do relationships. She's following her heart. His family chat blows up his phone. She just buried her last living relative. The holiday season doesn't seem so jolly as they venture from one mode of transportation to the next. That is exactly the book I read yesterday. But they have to become friends and rely on each other if they're going to survive all the obstacles thrown their way. As the miles grow shorter, vulnerabilities are shared, and by the time they reach their destination, neither one of them is sure what they really want for Christmas anymore. You haven't heard that plot before? You will this year, apparently. I do recommend, though, the one that I read, Emergency Contact. The above note was about the landlord and eviction. Oh, gotcha. That does make things. Let's have a love story. You're evicted. Hi, Annalise. We are enjoying romance books today. All righty. Back to business. Next Door Nemesis by Alexa Martin. Two rival candidates for a homeowners association presidency are about to find out how dirty suburbanites fight in this steamy new romantic comedy. After years of hustling, Collins Carter has finally made it back to her parents' house. Between tending to the compost with her newly retired dad and running into her high school nemesis at the only decent coffee shop in town, Collins realizes this subdivision from hell she swore she'd never return to is her rock bottom. Then the homeowners association complaint arrived. Nathaniel Adams always dreamed of a nice quiet life in his suburban hometown, or at least that's what he thought until Collins moved back and sent his quaint, organized life into a tailspin. He thought Collins was infuriating 10 years ago, but when she announces she's running against him for HOA president, all bets are off. From secret board meetings to vicious smear campaigns whispered over backyard fences, Collins and Nate sink to levels their sleepy suburb has never seen before. But as hate turns into lust, these two enemies are forced to reckon with the feelings they've ignored for years. If only there were bylaws for real life. Do your worst. True. We're just glad to see you when we see you, both of you. Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. Sparks fly when an occult expert and a disgraced archaeologist become enemies with benefits. Riley Rhodes finally has a chance to turn her family's knack for the supernatural into a legitimate business when she's hired to break the curse on an infamous Scottish castle. Free trip to Scotland? Yeah. Used to be working alone in her alienating occupation, she's pleasantly surprised to meet a handsome stranger upon arrival until he tries to get her fired. Fresh off a professional scandal, Clark Edgware can't allow a self-proclaimed curse breaker to threaten his last chance for redemption. After he fails to get Riley kicked off his survey site, he vows to avoid her. Unfortunately for him, she vows to get even. Curse breakers can also not break curses or maybe even create curses. Don't piss them off. Riley expects the curse to do her dirty work by driving Clark away, but instead they keep finding themselves in close proximity. Too close. Turns out the only thing they do better than fight is fool around. If they're not careful, by the end of all this, more than the castle will end up in ruins. I give it points for creativity. And having come off just reading a fun romance, I might still be in the mood for a romance, so it's not. Artifacts of an Ex by Jennifer Chen. When Chloe Chang gets dumped via United Post Service after moving across the country from New York City to LA, her first instinct is to throw her box of memories in the garbage. Instead, she starts buying other teenagers' breakup boxes to create an art exhibit, Heartifacts. Opening night is going great until she spots Daniel Kwok illicitly filming his best friend's reaction to his ex's box. When she tries to stop him, an intense discussion ends up launching a creative partnership and friendship, and a major crush for Chloe. There's just one problem. Daniel is dead set on not being another rebound. 5 times he's been the guy who makes the girls he's dating realize they want to get back with their ex, and he refuses to be there for a sixth. She insists she's over her ex, but when he shows up unexpectedly with his new girlfriend, it turns out Daniel was right. She isn't ready for a new relationship. Okay. La, 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 la. And one more, but we might not look at this one. This looks more fantasy as well. Yeah, Hades and Persephone. Ah, what the heck? We'll look at it. A Touch of Chaos, seventh in the Hades and Persephone series. Final installment by Scarlett Sinclair. The gods are at war, the Titans have been released, and Hades and Persephone must fight tooth and nail for their happy ending. Persephone, goddess of spring, never guessed that a chance encounter with Hades, god of the underworld, would change her life forever, but he did. Now embroiled in a fight for humanity and battles between the gods, Persephone and Hades have entered a world they never thought they would see. To end the chaos, Persephone must draw upon her darkness and embrace who she's become, goddess, wife, queen of the underworld. Once Persephone made bargains to save those she loves. Now she will go to war for them. I've always liked that mythology, but it's kind of starting to get used too much in uh in the romances. All right. No bingo yet? No bingo. Speaking of which, Randy Brown said hi on my sprint last night. I was quite pleasantly surprised. Alrighty. This is New in Books website. These are the romances they are saying is out this week by Tijin. 554 pages. Out in October. Nope. We're not going backwards. This one is 99 cents. Love Beyond Age, Eternally Yours by Stephanie Tayo. September. I don't think I trust this website anymore. Well, hang on a second. Let's go. Nope. Well, I thought I had a different one up. They are bamboozling me. Brute's Revenge, 149 pages. Well, it's this week. We'll take a look at it. Brute's Revenge, Evil Fallen, Bratva by Sam Crescent. 149 pages, so novella-ish. When Faith Dawson goes on a date from hell for her mother, she had no idea it was going to end up being getting her kidnapped. She tried to hide the fact her grandfather is Sergei Golubev, but there is no hiding anything. The man who has taken her knows who she is. In this war, there is never any chance for survivors. It is well known that Sergei loves his granddaughter, and Brute wants to see how far he's willing to go to protect her. When Sergei offers a trade Faith for one of his men, he has no choice but to take it. He has no interest in Faith. She was a means to an end, and so he sends her off. Brute may have released her, but when he learns that her upcoming marriage to a trafficker, he cannot just let it happen. He takes her. Faith will belong to him. But Brute knows it's only a matter of time until Sergei retaliates. He will be ready. Until then, he was going to have his fun with Faith. She has gotten under his skin and seeped into his heart. There is no turning back. Seeping into a heart. Right next to it is something that looks utterly on the other end of the spectrum. The Whole Time by Catherine Bybee. You want romance and crime? I would give myself time to read non-product, and I love it. Awesome. Alrighty, The Whole Time. Let's double check the release. Yep, we're good. Fourth in the D'Angelo's series. Strong-willed dancer exercising her independence and the rich biker she can't let go. Oh, this is a biker romance. Selena Barone has broken free of her family and moved into an apartment above the D'Angelo's restaurant where she works as a manager. Without a husband, that's breaking free of her family. She's moved in the apartment above it. Okay, without a husband, thank you very much. But even on a restaurant salary, she soon finds herself strapped for cash. Selena's never been afraid of living on the wild side, though, so she takes on a side hustle that'll raise big bucks and eyebrows if anyone finds out. Tattooed biker, they had to tell you he's tattooed, is the youngest of the wealthy Rutledge wine family and has never dreamed of rings forever or continuing the family business. He's perfectly happy living his own life and helping out hardworking folks in his own way. When these two independent singles spot each other at a Rutledge D'Angelo wedding, the attraction is instant. But as their friendship with benefits evolves into something more, the secrets Selena's keeping from family, friends, and Ryan threaten the happily ever after she never knew she wanted. Now look at that cover and tell me that's about a biker. And whatever she's doing, I can only assume she's exotic dancing or something at this point. Is there any other kind of biker? Exactly. Did they have to say? It'd be more interesting to say a non-tattooed biker, but is he really a biker because he comes from a wealthy family? He's just playing. He's just playing. Oh, it had potential, and then they blew it. All right, let's take a look at this one. Searching for Haven, Kindle Unlimited. double check the date. We're good. Have to say, that's a great cover. This is by Jen Talty, second in the Fallport rescue operations. In the heart of darkness, love's eternal flame sparks a blazing trail of redemption. Weston Campbell, a former ranger marred by disgrace and a tumultuous past, steps onto the uncertain pathways of redemption. A reluctant offer from his cousins throw him into the midst of a protection detail, a realm where trust hangs by a delicate thread. A shroud of mystery envelops Haven Taylor, a woman woven with the threads of adversity and survival. Haunting echoes of dangerous liaison threatens her dreams, dragging her back into a town steeped in shadows and fears. Her path, seemingly isolated, collides with Weston's, igniting the embers of an unexpected romance that simmers with intensity. In the embrace of secrecy, their hearts entwine, a connection forged in the flames of shared hardships. A delicate dance of trust begins, swept up in a whirlwind of unspoken feelings and unrelenting pasts. Suspicion lurks in every corner, the watchful eyes of friends clouded with doubt, unknowing of Weston's battle with the specters of his heart. As the canvas of their romance is painted with the brushstrokes of passion and vulnerability, a sinister presence emerges from the shadows. A relentless danger circles Haven, unveiling a terrifying vendetta that consumes the night with terror. With each heartbeat, time slips through their fingers, racing toward a harrowing fate, etc. I want to know who writes these quote unquote summaries because sometimes the language is so flowery. And we're out of time. But I think I want that job. Anyway, truly a disconnected cover. Yeah, that looks like a sweet one. And oh my, the extra hot mail covers are just, just too, yep. Yeah. You could come to my house. Absolutely. After mine, Mary. The language is too much. Yeah. I think we're all bad girls. Oh, well, we are out of time. At least we had a good time. And maybe you found something to check out further. That's what I always do these for. I might check out a couple of these. Tomorrow morning, we will be looking at fantasy and science fiction. And if there's time, we'll take a look at some more cozy mysteries. You never know what's going to happen there. No sprints tonight, but there are tomorrow night at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. Um, bring a friend, bring a book, bring a project. I hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Stay safe, stay warm, or if you're somewhere where it's hot, stay cool. And read good books. Remember, you don't get good person points if you're reading something you're not liking. It's okay to set it down. If you're reading something that you are liking, throw yourself into that book. They are absolutely worth the time that you're putting into it. Um, thank you, Mary and Annalise, for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good Wednesday. See you soon. God bless.